Hello, everyone. I am so excited to welcome you to Storytime Live. My name is Melanie McManus, and I am the author of the book Thousand Miler Adventures Hiking the Ice Age Trail. So guess what we're going to talk about today? You got it, hiking and the Ice Age Trail, which are two of my very favorite topics. And I'm kind of chuckling right now. I'm down here in my basement by our ping pong table, which is covered in all of my hiking and camping gear right now. And I was trying to find something to get this camera at the right level to see my face. And I used some Pop-Tart boxes. Yeah, I eat a lot of Pop-Tarts when I hike. So this camera is perched on 2 boxes of Pop-Tarts. Let's see, cookies and cream flavor and chocolate fudge. So I'll probably get hungry as I'm talking. But let's get right to it. So let's talk about the Ice Age Trail. The Ice Age Trail is a 1,200-mile hiking trail, all in the state of Wisconsin. That's a really long trail, 1,200 miles. And I'm going to show you where it goes. I've got a nice big photo of the trail over here. Oh, it's too big actually. Well, kind of big for the camera. Okay, here we go. So this is our Ice Age Trail. On the western end, it starts in St. Croix Falls in a park called Interstate State Park. Now that was Wisconsin's very first state park, opened in 1900, so 120 years ago. So the trail goes up there, here about 400 and some miles in the northern part of Wisconsin. And then right here in this little dot, that's the city of Antigo. Maybe some of you listening to this are from Antigo. So the trail goes right around Antigo. And then it runs south down near Wisconsin Dells and Madison. And in the very south, it's Janesville. Oopsie, can you see? There we go. Janesville, and it goes all through Janesville and out up through Kettle Moraine. And then right here, there's 2 miles on the beach right on Lake Michigan, which is really cool. And then it goes a little farther north, and here in the eastern end, it ends in Pottawatomie State Park in Sturgeon Bay. Now you might be wondering why this trail is called the Ice Age Trail. Well, about 10,000 to 14,000 years ago, there was a big sheet of ice, a glacier that covered almost all of Wisconsin. It covered Wisconsin, this is hard to do. It covered Wisconsin all through here. Oopsie, I'm doing this backwards. No, I got it right. Yes, it covered Wisconsin all through here, and then it was not in this part of the state. And it covered a lot of the other states in the United States and in Canada. And when it melted away, it left behind a lot of interesting things in the earth, like big holes called kettles, and giant rocks called erratics, and a lot of other hills and things like that. So people designed the Ice Age Trail to take people past all of those remnants of the glacier so we could see those giant rocks and the big kettles up close. So that's why we got the Ice Age Trail, and that's why it's named the Ice Age Trail. Now, the Ice Age Trail is part of a group of 11 very special trails in the United States called National Scenic Trails. Now, these are some of the best hiking trails in the entire United States, and we have one of them right here in Wisconsin, so we're very lucky. Another trail in this group is one you might have heard about. It's called the Appalachian Trail, or some people say Appalachian Trail. So that's another one of these National Scenic Trails. But again, we're very lucky that we have one of these trails all to ourselves. Well, not all to ourselves, it's for everyone, but here in Wisconsin. So that's really cool. Now, if you want to hike part of the Ice Age Trail, you don't have to go up to those ending points in St. Croix Falls or in Sturgeon Bay. You can hike on the trail anywhere. You can hop on anywhere. You just have to find a trailhead. Now, a trailhead is a portion of the path where the trail crosses over some kind of a road. And usually at a trailhead, there will be some kind of a sign for the trail. Oftentimes, there's a little parking area. So if you find a trailhead, you can go and park your car there and start hiking. And if you want to know where some of these trailheads are, you can go online to the website for the Ice Age Trail Alliance. Now that's the group that's kind of in charge of the Ice Age Trail. And they have all sorts of maps that you can look at to see where the trailheads are. You can also buy paper maps if you like paper maps. There's something called the Ice Age Trail Atlas, and it's filled with all sorts of really big maps of showing where the trail goes and trailheads. And the Ice Age Trail Alliance also sells a guidebook every year, and it has a lot of information about what you're going to see on the trail, how hard different sections are, where parking is, if there's water you can find, etc. So there's a lot of information. You can also get an app for your phone that shows you where to hike on the Ice Age Trail. Now, once you find a trailhead and you drive and you get on, where do you go from there? Because if you've ever done some hiking, once you get on a trail, a lot of times different trails crisscross it, and how do you know which way to go? Well, every hiking path, certainly every National Scenic Trail, is marked by something called a blaze. Now, I have a picture of a blaze I'm going to find for you. So here we go on the Ice Age Trail. Oopsie. Here's a good picture of a blaze. The Ice Age Trail blaze is yellow. It's a yellow rectangle, and it's often found on a post. So if you follow the yellow blazes, that's what you'll be able to find your way. Sometimes blazes are painted on the trees, and sometimes the blazes aren't the yellow rectangles I just showed you, but they're this symbol here. So this is the Ice Age Trail's official symbol. You can see it says Ice Age National Scenic Trail. And it's got this kind of rounded triangular shape, and sometimes this symbol is on a post. So if you see this symbol or the yellow blaze on a post or a tree, that means that's the way to go. And what do you think is here in the middle? It's our official symbol for the Ice Age Trail. I bet a lot of you know what that animal is from the movie Ice Age. It's a woolly mammoth. And so the woolly mammoth is on our signs, our official trail signs, and it's also the mascot for the Ice Age Trail. I actually have a woolly mammoth here, a little stuffed animal. Isn't he cute? So yes, this is our symbol, our mascot, our cute little woolly mammoth. Now, let's see, what else do I need to tell you about hiking? Oh, there's so much to look at. Okay, that's right. I'm down here in my basement with all my equipment and gear. So you might be wondering, do I need to go out and get a lot of special equipment or clothing or gear to hike? And the answer is no, not really. Often when I hike, I just put on my regular shorts or pants and shirt. I often just hike in my regular gym shoes. You can hike in boots like these. If you like hiking boots, you can hike in them. That's fine too, but you don't need to. I also often use something called trekking poles. I'm going to show you my trekking poles. There. You might see some people hiking like this with trekking poles. You don't have to have them to hike the Ice Age Trail. Definitely you don't have to, but they can be really handy. They're really good when you're coming upon a hill. They're helpful for going up the hill. And when you're going downhill, they're good to brace so you don't fall down the hill. Sometimes if you have to cross a little bit of water, maybe a little creek, you can see how deep it is by putting your trekking pole in there. They're good at balance if you're a little unsteady on your feet. But if you don't have a trekking poles, what a lot of people do is they just look as they're hiking for a sturdy stick that's tall enough and sturdy enough to hold their weight, and they use that. So here, excuse me, I found this cool sturdy stick. I remember exactly where I got it. I was up in Langlade County near Antigo, and I had forgotten my trekking poles that day in the car, I think. And I really needed something to help me. So I just looked and looked and looked while I was hiking, and I finally found this big stick. And it was just the right height for me, and I used it all day. Now, sometimes when people finish using a stick all day, they will, when they get to the trailhead, they'll lean it against the sign there marking the trailhead because they don't need it anymore. I just got a little attached to this, so because it helped me all day long, so I didn't want to leave it behind. But people often leave the sticks they find behind for somebody else to use. So if you ever come to a trailhead to hike and you see a stick like this leaning against the sign, it's okay to take it and use it because it's left behind for that purpose. We have to remember when we're on the Ice Age Trail that a lot of times the trail goes through areas where hunting is allowed. So if it's hunting season, it's a good idea to wear something like this, a bright colored cap, or have a blaze orange shirt or a vest, just to be safe. And if you look online or get one of those Ice Age Trail guidebooks, they'll tell you on which parts of the trail are open to hunting at which time. So you're always knowing if you're going during a hunting season. Now, once you're hiking and you're looking for those blazes, which is kind of fun to do, you also have to remember that you're supposed to stay on the trail. It can be really tempting if you're hiking and you see maybe some pretty flowers over there to go over and explore, but that's not a good idea. And you really shouldn't be doing that for two main reasons. One is that the Ice Age Trail often goes through private property. So that means it goes through someone else's land. And those people said, it's fine for the trail to go on our land, but we don't want people hiking on the rest of the property because that's ours and we don't want them on there. Just stay on the trail. And then other times the trail goes through land that the Ice Age Trail Alliance owns, but if you go off the trail, you might maybe step on some plants and crush them, or you might destroy the home of an insect or a small animal and not realize it. Or maybe you pick a pretty flower, but it's a rare flower, or maybe it's poison ivy or something. So really you need to stay on the trail. And the other thing that's really important to remember about hiking and hiking on the Ice Age Trail is something that's called leave no trace. And what that means is you're free to go on a hiking trail, enjoy all of nature, take as many photos as you want, but you're not supposed to be dropping garbage on the trail, or you're not supposed to be picking up rocks and taking them home or moving things around, because again, you never know, maybe even a tiny insect has a little home under that rock, and if you take it and move it, you might be hurting their home. So leave no trace. Okay. So I want to look at my notes so I make sure I remember to tell you everything I want to tell you. So maybe some of you have hiked on the Ice Age Trail before without even knowing it. That was me before I knew what the Ice Age Trail was, because once I knew where the path went, I realized the Ice Age Trail often goes through a lot of state parks and county parks and big areas that I had been in before, so I had been on the Ice Age Trail and didn't even know it. So for example, parts of the Ice Age Trail run through places like Devil's Lake, Kettle Moraine, Potawatomi State Park, Indian Lake State Park, Lapham Peak. So if you've hiked in any of those areas, Point Beach, you might have hiked on some of the Ice Age Trail. Okay, another thing that you're able to do on the Ice Age Trail that I think is really fun is join one of the hiking programs. So the Ice Age Trail has a bunch of different chapters that are in charge of different sections of the trail, and they run hiking programs. So here in Dane County, which is where Madison, the capital, is, and where I live, they have something called the Dane Drifters program. And here's how it works. You go online and you sign up for the program and you pay a small fee. And then every time you and your family or friends hike a section of the trail, you write down the date that you hiked it. And when you finish hiking all the pieces of trail in that chapter or that county, you hand it in, and then you often get a certificate or a patch or something like that that you can put on your backpack. So here's mine. Here's a backpack I have, and here's the Ice Age Trail patch I have. And here's my Dane Drifters patch. And here are some I got from other Walk the Walk is the Waukesha area. Here's another one, Glacial Drifters. Well, here's another one. I got them all over my backpack. Meander the Mid-Moraine. So you can collect these, and it's kind of fun to do that. All right, and also there is a very cool cold cache program associated with the Ice Age Trail. It's kind of like geocaching or earth caching, but you're trying to spot different formations like those kettles, the deep indentations, or the erratics, these giant rocks. You're trying to find things like that. And you have to maybe answer a question or something to prove that you found it. And then you can also earn more patches for that. So that's fun as well. Okay, what else do I need to tell you? I'm going through this pretty quickly. Okay, trail names. Yes, we have to talk about trail names. That's one of my most fun parts of the trail. So if you really get into hiking a lot, people take or are given trail names. So here's how it works. If you hike a lot, somebody might decide to give you a trail name. So let's say, I was talking about Pop-Tarts earlier, right? And how I like to eat Pop-Tarts when I hike. Maybe someone could have seen me eating a lot of Pop-Tarts one day and said, your trail name should be Pop-Tart. Actually, that would have been a good one for me. Or a person can give themselves a trail name. So I hiked with a woman who said her trail name was Eagle Eye, and she gave it to herself because she was noticing that as she was hiking, people would always say, oh, I dropped something and I can't find it, and she would always find it. So she said, I have an eagle eye for these things. And then she had no trail name, so she decided to give it to herself. Because when you start out doing a lot of hiking, that's kind of a big thing, like should I think up my own name or should I wait till somebody gives one to me? And so I decided when I was hiking that I probably wanted to pick my own name. I'm kind of picky that way. So I was hiking a trail called the Florida Trail, and where I met Eagle Eye, and I met some other people, and they said, what's your trail name? And I said, I'm not sure what I should take. And they were trying to get me to call myself Ice Age because I was talking about the Ice Age Trail. And I said, I think that makes me sound old. And they said, why don't you just call yourself Ice? And I said, ooh, that sounds a little harsh. And so then most of the people I was hiking with were from the South and in Florida, and it was January, which of course in Wisconsin is really snowy, but down there in Florida, it was very hot. And so I decided, because I wanted to be known as somebody from the north, and I like winter, that I would call myself Snowshoe, because I like to snowshoe, and it's a hiking in the snow, basically. So that is my trail name. So if you ever see me on the trail, you can call me Melanie or Snowshoe. Okay, so what else do I need to tell you? I'm gonna look around one more time. Oh, I wanted to show you just a few of my photos from the trail, which is very beautiful. It's very diverse. You might see pine woods like this. This is an area, this is called a boardwalk. They often put boardwalks in areas that get really wet so people don't have to get their feet muddy and wet, but sometimes you do anyway. That's part of hiking. This one, oh my gosh, it's hard to see here, for me to see. I think this is, gosh, I have to look at it. Whoops. Oh, it's prairie. Our trails go through a lot of prairie land, which is really beautiful. Oh, here's another favorite of mine. Oopsie, can I get this right? All right, this is it's either Point Beach State Forest or it's right where it goes into the Rar School Forest, but I love that boardwalk. And over here's, this is much more difficult to do than you'd think. Here is a really pretty glacial lake. I like that. Okay, and then I guess I will say one last thing. I'll show you a picture of myself when I finished hiking the Ice Age Trail, because maybe I didn't say that yet. Oh my goodness. Yes, I have hiked all of the Ice Age Trail. That's why I wrote a book about it. And actually, I've hiked the whole thing twice. So I've hiked about 2,400 miles from one end of Wisconsin and back the other way. And the first time I was about to finish it, I was finishing at Potawatomi State Park in Sturgeon Bay, and I thought, this is such a big accomplishment, because once you finish hiking all the miles of the Ice Age Trail, you become something called a 1,000-miler, which is why my book is called 1,000-miler. Anyway, I wanted to finish in big style, so here's what I did. I put on this cap I got in a race, a Warrior Dash race it was called. Oh, I did it! And I'll show you my picture. Okay. Here's me. I did it! And that's this is called the Eastern Terminus marker. So at both the Eastern Terminus and the Western Terminus, they have these big rocks and they have a plaque on there that shows that you're at that terminus. So I challenge all of you warriors out there to explore the Ice Age Trail. You will not regret it. It's a beautiful trail, and I hope someday to see your name on that list of 1,000-milers. Okay, everybody, hike on. Thank you for watching. Bye.